Welcome in, everyone. I'm sorry for the early start. I know that's probably caught a few people unawares. I do have to finish early today, so it was a choice between skipping doing a live or going a little bit early. So I thought I'll go early. At least that way I should be able to run on time and not miss things afterwards. Welcome in, Hugging Demons, Charlotte, Mike. Now, that is a good question to start with. Why would Malaya and her team put out that the bottom part of the blanket was on the front railing area? And it's clear that the piece in the tree can't be it. Well, not just that. Here's a thing that's got me questioning the whole thing. Why is it that 15 months down the track, the one statement we get that's apparently directly from Malaya is about a piece of blanket? I'm sorry, but if you got bold after 15 months, bold enough to get someone to speak on your behalf publicly, wouldn't you want to say something about your children? Correct me if I'm wrong. Welcome in, Teresa, a nurse. But there's not actually any front railing area anyway. So how does that work? It's a little bit confusing. I am going to do a video on that. And I should have grabbed the link. If you haven't caught Mike's latest video, he's done a video about the blanket. Just following up on some of the things that came up in my blanket video the other day, and then Mike's gone and done the additional thinking. There are now, I need to go back and look. Oh, good to see you in here, Summer Breeze. And welcome in, Nurse. Did I say hello, Teresa? I'm a little bit sleep deprived today. Callie, welcome in. Gaspergal, welcome in. I need to go back over that aerial footage that I showed the other day from the 6th of May? Because I think those uprights didn't go on straight away. And also, it's not the way that Shan said it, was it? She said it was a railing. There were 6 uprights. Yeah. The whole thing reeks to high heaven for me, personally. There's more to this story, and I'd really like to know what the more to this story part is. I would definitely be addressing it in another video. I want answers. I want to know why both sides are so obsessed with this piece of blanket, amongst other things. I want to know how it's possible to tear a Rochelle microfleece blanket. Not only that, to tear it in a straight line, the full length of the blanket, even past the edge. That's got me interested as well. Now, before I jump into Jack and Lilly, just a few things. This photo in front of you, this is my absolute favorite, she says. My absolute favorite photo of Kylie Rodney. You've heard me talk about Kylie many, many times. Kylie is the voice behind my intro and my outro. She was 16 when she died, and tomorrow is the 4-year anniversary. I'm going to do a Kylie Rodney live stream. I think I'm going to do my regular live stream, and then I'm probably going to come on after my lunch and do a Kylie live stream so that I can basically, because I know there'll be some of my OGs pop in. So I thought if I do it after lunch, then I can just do it for as long as I need, until, of course, the dogs need their dinner. But just bringing that up for anyone who's interested, because I will be telling Kylie's story in depth in that live stream tomorrow. There's no way. You could not tear it. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, you couldn't even cut it with like craft scissors. You would need a decent pair of haberdashery scissors to cut that. Now, I think you've got the details in terms of what it is, threads per meter, but it's not a thin blanket. Let's put that to bed straight away. I heard Justin and Belinda contemplating that. No, there was only 2 pieces of blanket. It sounds like there's 20 when you listen to all the stories, because there was a piece on the railing out the back, there was a piece on the invisible railing out the front, there was a piece in the bin, there was a piece that was thrown out long and long and long ago when they first put the blanket up and it tore off. And then, of course, there was a piece in the tree. So already that's 5 pieces before we add in the full part of the blanket. So there's 6 pieces of blanket, really. Welcome in, Denise, Grover, Anki, Ariel. 3 pieces is plausible, but we've had direct communication from RCMP saying that there were only 2 pieces, and they've matched it up. 3 pieces is plausible, because if you were, say, cutting strips off a blanket to use them to tie something down, then you might need pieces for 2 sides, plausibly. I mean, they haven't said, although no, they did say it was a larger piece in the rubbish. So given the width of the piece that was found in the tree, I was going to say they haven't said if the 2 pieces are the complete blanket. Welcome in, Ernestine. I think Mike worked it out based on the location of the apostrophe. I wish I had Mike's image here, because he's got, if you check out, I think it's his latest. I think if you check out Mike's latest video, he's shown it again with the measurements. So you can see the apostrophe quite clearly, which means you've got quite a width of blanket happening there. And you've got the full apostrophe. Yeah. Do you think they'll answer me? I will put that out in an email. I think we can guarantee that the answer is going to be simply a standard, we recovered 2 pieces of blanket, and that's all they'll tell us. Hang on, I'm just going to... Yeah, I'll bump that off as an email afterwards. I have to head off after the live stream. Amira's got another vet appointment. So, yeah, I've got that after the live stream. So when I get back from that, I'll bump off another email. And are we taking bets on the response? I could almost word the response myself these days. Yeah, did you see the video that I put out that covered all the bits of information that were put out? Like, it was insane. I made a bunch of clips yesterday that I will put together, which just highlight the different locations of this blanket, because it's interesting. Yeah, we're early. Clapping seal. Sorry, Amira's got an appointment after this. She originally had an appointment for her regular allergy shots, but that was with the vet nurse, and she needs to actually have an appointment with her vet, so I had to change the time, which meant that the appointment had to come forward. It does. It's a flying blanket. Not only that, but it's like it's got an invisibility function as well. Welcome in, Rita. Because according to Daniel, it wasn't there when he went up the hill that morning. He didn't see it. And then you've got all these other stories coming out that they didn't see it either. So it gets around, it makes itself invisible. It's a pretty amazing piece of blanket. You could almost write a kid's story about it, honestly. Yeah, I think you're right. It is. It's about a quarter from the edge. So, Mike, do you know the width offhand? Because I didn't. I should have got your screenshot again. Well, not only that, I did that email to RCMP about, after he said that, I said, well, I emailed them and said, look, you know, the story is that the cameras didn't pick it up. And they said, well, actually, the footage, 5'2". Can someone convert that into, hang on. So that's a bit over 1.5 meters, isn't it? It'd be about 154 centimeters. So it's too early for maths. Half of that would be 77. Half of that would be about 38 centimeters, roughly. Bit over. That's me trying to make my brain work early in the morning when I had to get up earlier. So that's like the width of a ruler. 157. I'm not going to try and do the math again, but let's say it's just a bit more. So it's probably like, 32, 33 centimeters or something. So a bit more than the length of a ruler. A foot is you guys are doing my brain. It's too hard this time of day to do the conversion. A foot is like 45 centimeters, isn't it? So a bit under a foot. Rita, Amira's got another flare up. Whatever it was last time that they charged me $1,000 for all the tests, has flared up again. So I'm just kind of holding my breath, hoping I'm not going to be doing a whole bunch of tests again for no reason. Hoping that maybe just antibiotics will help her bounce back again. But it's yeah, I'm a little bit worried because we never got to the bottom of things last time that she was back and forth from the vet. That's the reason why my appointment was changed, because I could have got my appointment with one of the younger vets, but I want her to see the senior vet, because he knows her history. He's looked at all that before. So, you know, she's seeing the senior vet in the clinic. We've already done all the tests before. I don't know if she'll need more bloods. She probably will. But just maybe we'll get to the bottom of it. Anyway, thanks for that. Yeah, see, when I saw this image, before it was put out by the media, I thought it must have been like an AI image, because of how much it looks like it's just kind of intertwined in there. Welcome in, Artemisa. Yeah, I will keep you posted, Reda, that's for sure. I have to confess, the reason why I'm a bit of a scatterbrain this morning is because I've probably had about 4 hours sleep. Anyway, keep going from that. It doesn't look like, the way Hayden described it, as being just kind of hung over like a bath towel or something. Well, that's not. It looks like it's well and truly caught up in there, which is kind of interesting. Unless, now we've presumed that if it had come off a vehicle, it would have had to have come off a vehicle that was heading up Lansdowne Station Road. But having done a little bit of asking, getting a little bit more well, here's the thing. Let's say it wasn't a vehicle going up Lansdowne Road. Let's say someone in the dark turned onto that road with maybe a four-wheeler or something, and just the end of that caught the tree and flicked up into the tree. Could that end up like that? If you're going fast enough, it's super curious. Okay, so from the side of the apostrophe to the edge is about 15 inches. So that's about, yeah, no, my brain's checked out now. It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's right in there. Am I muted? No, or was I just pausing? Is the sound still okay? Sorry, it could have just been me stopping and thinking for a moment. Anyway, I want to, okay, a little bit of unrelated news first, and we'll get back to Lily. You might have seen this. The sound is fine. This is actually, I think it's about a week old now. I kept meaning to put it up and hadn't done so. And I was a few days behind anyway with this. But it's a bit of interesting news. But I think it's a positive for Canada. So you might have seen the news story. It's about a bust in Ontario with a human trafficking ring.
Halton Regional Police have provided details on the largest human trafficking investigation in the service's history.
Several people have been arrested and dozens of charges have been laid as part of Project Troubadour. CTV's John Musselman's been following this story and joins us with more details. John.
Well, Nathan, investigators are telling us this was a 10-month-long investigation, and as you mentioned, it did lead to the arrests of 9 people, more than 85 charges. Now, at the news conference today, we did see some photos of the accused in this case. They also showed us some of the property that was seized in this investigation, including some cars and jewelry. Now, the police are also saying that this was brought to their attention when one of the victims came forward to police. This broke open the case. They're saying there could be as many as 12 victims, but there may be more that they don't know about, and that's one of the reasons they are holding this news conference today, to talk about the situation. Now, the victims here were either assaulted or being used as sex workers, and in many cases they had very little control of their lives. So we did hear from the detectives today about this case. Here's what Scott Hireman had to tell us just a short time ago.
Human trafficking knows no borders. Halton is a safe community. However, it's important to understand that commercial sexual exploitation happens across the country in a majority of our communities. It's important to talk to your kids and your loved ones and make sure that they understand the risks that are out there.
And the detective went on to tell us that deception is a key way they do this. They also use websites to attract...
I won't go right through. I realise now that I might have to actually clip that out after the live stream, because you know what YouTube is like. YouTube can be a bit fussy about what you play. But I thought it was certainly a win for Canada. I found these vehicles really interesting. The high-end vehicles that were seized as part of the trafficking ring. Did she? I'll have to listen to that again. She said the piece in the tree was the bottom of the blanket. Trying to determine if the piece in the tree is missing the bottom part. Good question. It's hard to tell, isn't it? I think we'll see. It looks like it goes down to an arrow towards the top. It looks like it would be pretty much the full length of the blanket at the top. If you look at the length of the blanket that remains on top of the apostrophe, and you compare that with the length of the apostrophe up to the top of the blanket, it does look at least like the top of the blanket is all the way. If you look behind the branch, There's like a dark patch behind the branch, which could only be her shoe. So just below where the blanket is kind of doubled up at the top. Or am I wrong about that? It could be her eye. You can see. Yeah, if you I should have grabbed. It could be a disaster if I try. I probably won't. What I'll do after the live stream, if I get time before I dash off for Amira's appointment, is I'll link Mike's original blanket video. Sorry, just making note for myself. I will link Mike's original blanket video for this live stream afterwards. No, I'm looking higher up than the apostrophe. Yeah, do you think that that's her shoes behind the branch? Or there's also a dark spot on the length of blanket where you can see the pink stripe. So if you work up from the apostrophe, you can see her bow straight up from the apostrophe. And then you go up and you go over the branch, and there's another bit of black, which I think would possibly have to be her eye. And then it seems to loop around and come back over the branch. And there seems to be a black spot again, which is possibly her shoe. But then how does that fit with the stripe? Because the stripe's got to be the binding on the edge. So it's possible. It's possible if that's the shoe, then it's possible that actually looks like a corner. So that couldn't be the shoe, could it? Mike, you've got a really good eye for this. Could you maybe do us another one of your genius videos? Because you seem to have a really good eye for the placement of things and stuff like that, the visual side of it. I think it looks like the corner of the blanket, the bottom corner. The bit that's behind the apostrophe, it actually looks like that is the corner. Because you see it goes down and then it goes across in an L. So there's pleats of the skirt, leg, and shoe. I would probably need my glasses for that. You think the black spot where it's doubled over is her eye? Just above the... If you look at the bottom of the apostrophe and there's like a branch that goes across that's got the leaves on it, are you thinking that's the eye directly above the branch? I think I think given that, the apostrophe is the bottom bit that's hanging down in front of the really thick branch. I'll definitely link Mike's video. Yeah, that makes it hard as well, doesn't it, that it's back to front. All I'm going to say, folks, is watch this space. Mike is much better with the visuals and the spatial awareness kind of stuff like that. So I can guarantee that we're going to see another video from Mike on this blanket, because he nails these things. He gets it way better than me. Welcome in, Strawberry Wine. But I will definitely link Mike's original video, which shows how the apostrophe works. It shows the size of the blanket. It shows it flips it and does all the things. So I will do that as soon as I can after the live stream. The apostrophe is upside down. So, yep. We know we can rely on you, Mike. Awesome. Exclamation point. Yeah, sorry. Sleep deprivation, other things on my mind. That's a good question. Do they have magic blankets in Ireland? We don't have magic blankets in Australia. I tell you what, I would love to buy myself one of these blankets because they are pretty magic. I want a flying blanket. Or is it one that it just kind of jumps from one location to the next? And when it goes invisible, when it's on the branch, if you wrap yourself in it, is it like an invisibility cloak? Because I think, this could be a blanket worth owning. Well, we know now. Welcome in, butterflies. Honestly, I've spent months and months, and so did one of my mods, who is a pure legend for if it could be found, she'd find it. Yeah, I know. Sorry, just the facts. I've had about 4 hours sleep. My brain is a little bit behind everyone else. Everyone else at least translated my dumbness, but it was causing confusion. If you look for an exclamation point, you should be able to find it. I do apologize. Which I will just put this up quickly in terms of it seems appropriate, and I apologize if I offend anyone, but this is about as Australian as you get.
People idiots. We call them fuckwits. Good luck.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. That's me today. When I had it in my brain that I knew I had to get up early. I had to get up earlier so I could do an earlier live stream, so I could be on time for Amira's vet appointment. So you lie in bed and you think, you can't get to sleep, and you think, okay, but if I get to sleep now, I'm going to get this many hours sleep. And an hour later, you're still doing that. That was me last night. So around 4 o'clock, I was going, okay, if I get to sleep now, I might just get 4 hours sleep. Sometime after that, I finally got to sleep. Yeah, so you've got the dot, and then you've got the rest of the exclamation mark straight down from the dot. Anyway, I will leave that in Mike's capable hands, and there will be a video out on that soon. Now, moving on. I haven't actually asked. I don't know if Charles is still in here or if she's off enjoying her gorgeous little grandson. Oh, what the heck? I'll put it up. Apologies to Cody if I shouldn't. But this seems appropriate after yesterday. Belinda posted this yesterday. She spoke to Cody about, he spoke about all the rumors that are being told about him on Facebook and YouTube. And this is where his mindset is at. So I just thought I'd throw that up. So, yeah, good for Cody. And this is what I did want to bring up. We're confusing Anki completely. What I'll do, I'll put a clip up in a minute. Well, I'll put up Daniel's song in a minute, and I'll see if I can find Mike's original video. Now I'm going to put this message out there as well. No, I don't blame Cody one bit. His life, his world is nobody's business. And what's to be achieved by starting rumors about him? So I'm not laughing at that, Strawberry. I'll put Anki's up in a minute. Yeah, I have no doubt. It must be hard on Cody to be going through this behind the scenes and see all the crap that's being put out about him. So I don't blame him at all. That's about where I reached. I quit. I'm going to screenshot them, rotate them, and stop my brain cells from converging. 100%. You are totally spot on. Judgment on Cody is not up to the public. It's none of our business. Like I said yesterday, it was the best choice ever for Cody to decide not to engage with anyone over this case, for Cody to stay in the background. And I'm glad that he did that. He was not present on the property when those children disappeared. We need to be focusing on the 3 people that were present on the property when the children disappeared. Nobody else. Yeah, you just said what I said. Welcome in, Deborah. We haven't really got round to much yet. We've just been looking at the blanket and getting a bit confused over that. Mike MX is now on a mission to figure out if the full length of the blanket is there and figure out what's what. So Chelsea posted this because apparently she's been blocked all over the place. So I might as well put it out here as well. Maybe the message will eventually get to Anita. And I will look at those other comments in just a moment because what you're saying is 100% correct. So this is a message for Anita Maxwell Johnson from Chelsea. I cannot engage or address you on the creators' channels you speak on because they all have me blocked. Morons. But I believe you know that. If not, I'm confused as to why those creators wouldn't tell you that. Should you ever wish to have a conversation, please message me. Sorry you felt harassed when I asked you a question on a public channel. I was taking the opportunity to question you where I could. I just love Belinda's response. It would be hard for her to play victim if she can be called out. And I've got to pull the banner off for a second to see it all. And now my thing's over the top. Anita has a boisterous personality and something or other to match. And I'm very sorry that I've lost that. I'll just put Mike's channel up there for you for now. For anyone who wants to jump over before I get around to actually adding the link for the original blanket video. Such a good point. 3 people on the property don't want you to focus on them. And they will throw shade at everyone else. Even people that are not even remotely connected to the case. Yes. Justin Martell, I think we are entitled to ask questions, given Malaya told Belinda that Justin was living or staying there on the property. Yeah, I think, you know, to see people putting your mother through this sort of crap, I can imagine he's probably got regrets, but he's also probably feeling even more pain over the whole situation. The crap that this family has to go through is just so sad. Although we only have that from Daniel, don't we? So maybe the reason why Daniel's like, well, we know that video doesn't exist. But also maybe because maybe the whole thing of Daniel going, well, Justin doesn't want to be involved. Maybe they're trying to make sure that Justin doesn't actually stuff up and essentially debunk some of Daniel's lies. But he was there with Janie on the bike pretty damn quickly. He was out with Janie on the ATV. allegedly. So I can't help thinking that he's definitely involved in some way. I also can't stop looking at Ron, because there's things there that create questions for me. You'll bet the bin video is real for many reasons. I'm not sure. See, the thing is, when you look at the documents, there's no mention of them actually contacting the RCMP and saying that there's the blanket in the bag. In fact, there's no mention from RCMP at all that Daniel found the blanket and contacted them. And when you listen to the audio, Logan originally says, no, I haven't got the quote right, but she essentially says the RCMP came and found it. And then later on, she goes with Daniel's story of, Daniel found it in the bin. We know he was told about the piece of blanket on the 2nd. And yet Logan's claiming that, we told him about the piece of blanket on the 4th, and that's when he found it and rang the RCMP. The other thing that stands out to me is that rubbish collection was the Tuesday. Yeah, the document says the RCMP seized it from the garbage. Had it been in that garbage on the Saturday and on the Sunday, given how thoroughly the RCMP searched that property, they would have found that piece of blanket before Monday night. I feel that maybe he was under surveillance. Thank you, Summer Rees. Hopefully we'll get to the bottom of things with Amira today, and she'll be fine. You can probably hear her snoring again. She's snuggled up in her little bed right next to me. Anyway, fingers crossed on that. Okay, I might look. I'll put the Daniel video on for just a moment, and I'll see if I can find Mike's why is there two chats? As in, hang on, let me put the comments on stage for people to see. Why is there two chats? Because there's two live streams. I don't know. Don't ask me difficult questions today. I'm a bit slow on the uptake today. Just a little bit. Okay, I will. Well, they seized it at 9 o'clock at night. When you think about that, that's just after dark. Thank you, Ariel. Very much appreciated. I'll be putting that towards Amira's vet bill, that's for sure. It gets dark around 8:30 that time of year. So they've seized it a bit after 9 o'clock in the evening, after it's got dark, which again makes me question if they had surveillance on Daniel and he waited till it got dark. Because when you think about it, that's probably the first day when there was less RCMP around. So was that blanket stashed somewhere after the piece was found in the tree? And then when it got dark on that Monday evening, put in the bag, and then with the other rubbish bag put in that bag, with the expectation being that the rubbish was going to be collected the following day and it would be gone. That's my question with that. Anyway, I'm going to throw this up. I don't think I am going to try and find Mike's video today, because knowing me, I'll probably screw up and end the live stream or something like that. But I will put this up and then we'll move on to some more of this audio from Daniel.
Well, I met Professor Dan down at the county store. He said, I've got a brain map and a whole lot more. He had a 5-eye word and a shining new grin. Straight from the online thesaurus, he was cashing them in. He said, vivid means cheap and opaque means clear. I said, Dan, that ain't right. He said, I learned it this year. He talked so slick, you'd swear he knew the town, till you listen real close and the meaning fell down. He could tell you all about a polygraph test, every wire, every needle, every puff in the chest, what the sweat on your palm means, what the blink of your eye, how the little machine knows if you're telling a lie. He described it in detail, every minuscule part, but the facts went missing like a hole in his heart. He was accurate sounding, but that's where it ends. A mile of good spelling and a yard of no sense. And he leaned right in like he had the cure for every old problem a person endures. Psychobabble, he'd murmur, I know how it goes. Then he'd trip on the jargon from his head to his toes. Professor Dan, oh, Professor Dan, he reads one page and he thinks he can. Professor Dan, oh, Professor Dan, all that noise no understand. Oh, Professor Dan, Professor Dan. He's an expert on hounds and the scent in the air, on police line chalk and a flashlight glare, on search and rescue where the mud runs deep, on the way a lost soul breaks and the secret won't keep. He'll talk addiction, trauma, ADHD, like every psychiatrist calls him up for free. Doc, what's your advice? He'll say with a grin, then he'll answer himself before the truth gets in. Professor Dan, oh, Professor Dan, he reads one page and he thinks he can. Professor Dan, oh, Professor Dan, all that noise no understand. Oh, Professor Dan, oh, Professor Dan. Well, he's got every answer in a digital pile, but the more he explains it, the less it feels like he's got confidence, sure, and a dazzling pose, but he's mixing up wisdom with the words he chose. Now he's 10 feet taller in the key of G, still wrong as a fence post, plain as can be. He's a master of nothing, but he sure loves the sound of his own big opinions circling around. So if you need a lesson in what not to do, call Professor Dan and he'll prove it to you. He's full of big talk and a borrowed brain. Every word sounds smart, but it lands in the drain.
Good night, Summer. Rest well. Okay, so just thought I'd throw that in, and let's go on to make sure I get the right video. Let's go on to Daniel, and he's still going on about Cindy here. Just pre-warning you, because I always feel like I need to pre-warn people when we're about to be faced with Daniel or Janie.
Cindy would always criticize Malaya, and all this is true facts. I've experienced with my own eyes. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to make someone look bad or anything like that. I'm being true to myself and true to the experiences that I've had.
How many denials can you stack on top of each other in one go? That's pretty impressive. Now, when someone's got that many denials, you've got to pay attention. Experience with his own eyes. I know. All this is true facts. I've experienced with my own eyes. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to make someone look bad or anything like that. I've never heard anyone stack that many denials on top of each other. It reeks of deception. Oh, I know. He really would not know what the truth was if it bit him on the ass. That's for sure. Sorry. I can't help it. This is when the Australian comes out, and just it comes out as it comes out. He might as well have just said like 4 times over, I'm a liar, I'm a liar, I'm a liar. Like, and Cool J, I don't think I welcomed you in. Cool J, I have, I'm not sure if I covered it in a live stream. I think it was in a live stream. I might have to do it as a clip. I have a blanket here that is the same material, same thickness, same weave. You cannot rip it. And I'm going to do a video about that later on. I've got a whole bunch of things together to talk about Rochelle techniques in terms of it's a type of fiber. But anyway, I'll come back to that later. Yeah, exactly. I'm a liar and my pants are on fire. Spot on, TJ's mum, and I agree, and welcome in. Yeah, you can't tear a Rochelle weave because it's looped. It's not a linear weave. I'm not sure if I set those images across to use for later on or whether they're still on my... No, damn, I can't send them to myself while I'm live. I will be working on a video, and I've got slides which show the way the weave works on these blankets. Yeah, it is. It's bonded together. Thank you, Charlotte. I needed someone to do the brain thinking for me today. It's not like a natural fiber that's done in a weave. This is a polyester fiber, which for starters makes it so much stronger. And it's done in a way that the fibers are all looped through each other. So if if you somehow manage to make a hole in that blanket, it's not going to go anywhere because there's nothing to run in terms of, if you have a regular piece of fabric that's woven and you get a slit in it, then it could rip quite easily. No, not these, not with the Rochelle fabric, because it's not, you can't tear it. It's not a fleece blanket. This is not a fleece blanket. This is it's a Rochelle fiber. It's a Rochelle, Rochelle is a technique. It's not like something that has the fibers that run in a linear way. It's not woven. So it's not like where you can cut it and tear it and then cut the border. It's it doesn't have the linear fabric, the linear fibers to allow for a tear. Anyway, I will cover that in a separate video because I haven't got slides here, and it's easier, I think, to show it with slides. But essentially, it's not a woven fabric. You would have to have scissors to cut it. And I may be wrong, but I think it's actually a double weave also. Meaning that the blanket itself is like 2 layers together, which would make it even more impossible. Even if it's old, with these Rochelle blankets, they are like they're the best blankets you can get in terms of microfleece kind of blankets, because the fibers, they don't deteriorate. It's not a natural fiber. It's a polyester. I can't bring it up on screen, but I can. Are you right, Mouse? Where are you? Okay, hang on. Dude, oh, okay, hang on, dude. Okay, I'm going to have to throw on another song because Mouse has suddenly decided he needs to go outside. Let me see. Just throw this one on for a minute.
I walk outside to build a fence so tall. The cars are parked and watching me. They speed away when I step out the door. They take my pics and videos galore. Drones are buzzing high above my place, yet none appear online to show their face. No one sees my mom making the ground, just silent lights without a sound. It's like so I'll let them suffer.
Okay, I think Mouse is still outside. I think we crossed paths. So it's basically plastic. But not only that, so there's a treatment process for these Rochelle blankets that makes it stain resistant and color fast. And also basically it means that it's not going to rot. You would have to have it outside for 10, 20 years before you actually saw a change in this, because it's a polyester fiber. It's synthetic. It's the way it's made and the type of the fiber makes it resistant to like any sort of external damage. Whoops. Where's that gone? Yeah, they it's not something that is going to degrade in a 6-year period of time, let's say max, because that's how old Lily was. It's not likely to fade in that period of time because of the way it's made. It's certainly not going to degrade to a point where it's going to tear. The other thing is, they're really securely stitched. Like you'd have to cut it. It's not going to rip. Oh yes, please go, Mike. I love trivia. Please do. Fire away. Let's have some trivia on the blanket. That's okay, Chelsea. Little ones have got to take priority. That's so cool. And I didn't actually say welcome in, Belinda. Sorry, I'm a scatterbrain today. And welcome in, Princess Pillow, and anyone that I might have not actually said hello to. Yeah, bit of trivia would be good. Just waiting for a response now on that trivia. While we're waiting on that, just having a look to see if I might just press play for a moment. Sorry, I'm waiting for Mouse to come back in so I can dash and shut the door, because it's actually kind of cold with the back door open. But apparently he needs to spend some time outside right now. So, we'll just push on. Okay, a bit more of this then.
And Cindy would always criticize Malaya and, try to tell her how to live her life. And, many aspects, Malaya didn't want to live the same life that Cindy did, right? Cindy's a nurse. She looked after Wade because Wade never had a job or never did anything.
I'm sorry, but wasn't the story that was put out that Cindy and Wade were working different times? I've not heard that. So if that's being said, I'd like to know where he gets that from, because I've never heard anything along the lines of Wade never having a job. Malaya told you those same stories. Interesting. The doll. Oh. Okay, let me put the blanket back up for a moment. The doll, I can see it. I can see that, actually. There's a very 80s look to the one on the right. The doll on the left is inspired by Ariana Grande. The one on the right is inspired by Madonna, and their names represent Most Holy and Virgin Mary. Nice. That's exactly what it is. He's putting Wade down because of the stuff that Wade said to Tint. But face it, he's not a fan of Cindy and Wade, so he's going to take every opportunity to throw them under the bus or to diss them as much as he possibly can. Yeah, that's a good question too. Did Malaya Did Malaya ever complain about Cindy to you, Belinda, or I guess probably grandmother to grandmother, she probably wouldn't, but who knows? Daniel is very, very predictable, isn't he? So predictable. Yeah, well, you know, what was it his uncle said that he wanted to do? She said her mum never wanted her happy. Oh, that's sad. Oh, Camilla's in here. Welcome in, Camilla. Sorry, I didn't know you were in here. I should have greeted you anyway. That is sad. I definitely think Malaya's got a sad past. So, you know, there probably is truth in this that Daniel's jumping on because he loves to throw crap all over Cindy and Wade. Yeah, that makes me sad, but it also explains a lot in terms of Malaya's attachment issues. Because if you have that attachment issue with a parent, especially given that Cindy and Henry were split up when Malaya was young, this is why Malaya keeps looking for new boyfriends. It's that attachment, the need for the validation. Yeah, we do. We need justice sooner rather than later. You know, my logical brain tells me that we're going to have to wait till probably 2027 now. But there's a part of me that just desperately screams like, please no, please let it be soon. Because I think in terms of finding them as well, I believe they're on private property, in which case we need arrests to be made before the RCMP can get warrants to go onto private property to search for them. It's heartbreaking.
You know,
I don't think they're not together anymore. I think
I have no idea. I only know what the internet tells me.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was Anita that said that.
I think so.
So,
yeah.
like, I mean, Anita may have like some truth into what she says about Malaya and Cindy and Wade and that side, right? Because she knows them. She's met them. She's interacted with them. She's has the same, experiences with them that, they have shared experiences, right? Because they talk and they spent time with each other. Anita doesn't know.
Okay, so translation of that is, who's going to cherry pick whatever things that Anita puts out? And if Anita puts things out about Cindy, about Wade, about Malaya, that's going to be useful for his narrative, he's going to use those to his advantage. He's basically, even though we all know that everything Anita comes out with is basically just BS. Yep. Yep. Vodka Man and Scamnita will solve the case because they're in steady contact with the RCMP. Our job is done here. We'll just sit back and let them solve the case. You nailed it. Now I forgot. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing here. He's telling people, believe the stuff that Anita says about Malaya and her side, but don't believe anything she says about us because she doesn't know us. And yet, whoops, at a different time, he will at a different time, he will turn around and say, well, hey, Anita's just full of crap. But in this moment, he's going to sell Anita as the expert on Cindy, Wade, and Malaya, even though at most she was there 5 days. At least she was there for part of a day. Oh yeah, it is. It's delusions of grandeur. It's kind of amusing. It's like, I'm going to solve the case. None of us are going to solve the case because we don't have the information that the RCMP have. We only have publicly available information. And I apologize. I'm going to have to put up another song for a minute because his lordship has decided to get outside, and I think my neighbour must be outside because he's just...
I had a glass of wine and poured another. Told the bad boy come right over. Left both doors open wide. He said you best be armed, I'm coming inside. I grabbed my QQ and some Merlot. Called my husband, said here we go. Message detectives on my phone. The bad guys coming, I'm not alone. They're chasing me down the road, doing 140 in my Mercedes load. Call 911, but they're too slow. Gotta reach the cops before they know. 6 police cars on my face. Ski mask dude in a Honda Chase. I'll race them all with my V8 while calling Ralph. Don't make me wait. He said slow down. I said no way. These hillbillies want me today. Pulled up to the station gate. The cops just stared and made me wait. They're chasing me down the road, doing 140 in my Mercedes load. Called 911, but they're so slow. Gotta reach the cops before they know. Met detectives at Tim Hortons, played the tape of all his warnings. Mad Dog said you did just right, while 9 more crates come out at night. Husband told him I'm not crazy, sent the cops home being lazy. Tomorrow getting faster wheels, for when more villains chase my steel. They're chasing me down the road, doing 140 Mercedes low. up. They chase me through the wasted flush. Every night it's all the same. Do they even know my name? It's like Christmas up in the sky, lights of every color shining bright. They float towards me every night, hoping for a glimpse of fire. In my mind the drones are friends, red and white and blue they blend, watching out to keep me safe. But who's behind this endless chase? It's like Christmas in the sky, lights of every cloud blending bright. They flock towards me every night, hoping for a glimpse of fire.
Okay, sorry, and I realise I've just played that one for the second time, but it was a case of Mouse was being stubborn. So I had to dash in and quickly hit another one to play and then go and get him again. Combination of dog down the road barking back at him and also the neighbour being out in her garden right next to the fence. So life got a bit exciting for Mouse for a moment there. So he forgot how to use his brain and how to behave. They are gorgeous in that photo. And Jack with his chocolatey face. Such little cuties. Someone said they saw the drones on Daniel's private Facebook Messenger chats with her. Oh dear. It's too funny. It really is. I think he probably just needs to go to rehab. He needs to dry out a lot. Anyway, I've got a little bit more time. I've got probably about half an hour before I need to start getting myself and Amira organised. So we'll have a little bit more.
Me or mom. She has no right to speak
Right.
on anything to do with.
Run it back a little bit. You're looking at a drone right now. Oh, yeah. Well, he does. That's for sure. That's the truth of the matter.
I think it was Anita that said that.
I think so.
So,
Yeah.
like,
I mean-
Anita may have like some truth into what she says about Malaya and Cindy and Wade and that side, right? Because she knows them. She's met them.
Mhm.
She's interacted with them. She's has the same, experiences with them that, they have shared experiences, right? Because they talk and they spend time with each other. Anita doesn't know me or mom. She has no right to speak
Right.
on anything to do with me and mom.
So, okay, so you
So this is what I think Charlotte was just saying a little while ago. We have to believe everything that Anita says about Malaya's family, but nothing about Daniel's family. It's the whole cherry picking, choosing what works for his narrative. And yeah, thanks for coming in, Teresa, and good night. Yeah, it is. It's the paranoia thing. Complete paranoia. I know. My brain hasn't reset after Parker. I think that just, I think so many of us were just devastated over his situation. And I'll be honest, there are times when I try, and this may sound horrible, but I try not to look too much at the pictures of Lily and Jack when I'm on a live stream or when I'm working on a video, because sometimes it just really, really hits me hard. Just, yeah, even that side of it, just I can't even verbalize it. But your guess is as good as anyone else's. It's somewhere between 2 hours to 5 days to 6 days to 7 days. One version, she was there the very next day after they went missing on the Sunday. And then, of course, she was there 6 weeks later when she drove baby M to Connie's place. And then she was also there straight. She'd gone out briefly while Tint turned up and did the thing with Cindy and Wade, which I think was in August. And she was also there in around the time of polygraph exams. She was, like I said, your guess is as good as anyone else's. Because she's basically there. Yeah, exactly, Carla. Every significant thing that we've been told about after Lily and Jack went missing and Malaya left the property, every significant thing, she's apparently there for that. And yet she herself has said that she was there for like 5 days, or different versions. She was there for 7 days. But yet she was there for all these events, which span well over a 6-week period. Yeah. And she knew on day 3 that they were evil and lying. And the different versions of why she left. There was one version where apparently her boyfriend said he wanted her to come back and cook for him or something like that. Then there's the version where she left because they were all so evil. And then there's another version, which I can't think of right now. I think it was a setup. I truly do. I think that Daniel and Durwood worked it out between them. The goal was for Logan to get custody of baby M. So Durwood went over to Paddy's. He said something to Paddy that made Hayden think he needed to give Malaya a heads up. Hayden gave Malaya a heads up. She went to head to her father's place. And Durwood, by Daniel's own admission, contacted Daniel and said, oh, Malaya's unsupervised. Daniel rang Malaya and she was apparently on the way to the reserve. And I'm trying to put it all together again. Sorry. She was on the way to the reserve. He apparently rang RCMP. They said, not our problem, ring CPS. He rang CPS. They weren't open, but apparently Cindy somehow managed to get through, even though she allegedly wasn't there at the time that Malaya did a runner, which means that she would have known after Daniel. So to me, it says that basically they set her up. They wanted to make sure that she was in breach of her CPS agreement. And they thought that Logan was going to get custody of baby M, and it backfired. I believe they were. from some of the things that Durwood said early on with some of the panel things, it made it sound like he definitely had someone that was, connected to Malaya. But also, if you go back to the Hidden in the Fog panel that he was on, he said to Susan that Anita was a good person, and this was when she just appeared on the scene, and he sat there on on Susan's channel and was saying, I trusted Anita 100%, and something about her boyfriend Jameson, and the way he was speaking did make it sound like he was basically speaking up for a friend. I think anyone surrounding them who actually trusts them is a fool, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it was on Dolly Vision that he was talking about someone close to the family or something like that. Wouldn't surprise me. He seems to be the fixer. It seems like everything seems to gravitate back to Durwood. Could be wrong, but that's the way it feels. Seems like everything seems to gravitate back towards him. Anyway, a little bit more from Daniel.
You feel like Malaya now, because Patty, for the most part, didn't she kind of raise both Hayden and Malaya?
Yeah, she did. When I was there with Malaya, Hayden was also there as well sometimes, and but Hayden would sometimes jump back and forth to spending time at Cindy's, and then spending time with at Patty's, right? But Hayden would come and go, like, being a teenager, right? That's what teenagers do. They don't want to spend time with their mom or their grandmother. They want to do their own thing. They have friends, and
Welcome in, Bonza. Good to see you in here. Well, admittedly, I did start early as well, which doesn't help the situation. Yeah, it certainly seems that there's a lot of people who aren't directly connected to the disappearance of Lily and Jack, but have somehow inserted themselves into this case big time. So this is just stuff that's been spoken about before in terms of Malaya and Hayden spending a lot of time at Paddy's place. Hayden being back and forth between Cindy and Paddy's. Now, someone came up with a really good point, and that is Cindy's a nurse. Now, we know that she's not a nurse. She's a I can't think what the term is because we don't have the same terminology here in Australia. But she's like, she does all the kind of assistant-y kind of nursey stuff. But either way, she would be working long shifts. She wouldn't necessarily have control over when those shifts are. Yep, LPN. Thank you. It's still a nurse. It's just different roles. Thank you. Yes. You know how many times I've tried to remember LPN, and it just keeps going. A licensed practical nurse. So she's the, you know, in the ward kind of thing, or if it's in a old person's home, you know, the boots on the ground kind of stuff. And that's not to try and say that what she doesn't do isn't important, because it is. I'm just sort of, you know, trying to clarify, because I know that some people, that's my understanding. She would be working 12-hour shifts. You don't get a lot of choice in terms of your shifts. So there's been a lot said about how Paddy pretty much raised Hayden and Malaya. But when you look at the family situation, first of all, yeah, that sort of thing. Thank you. Dressings, assessment, IV, medication, all those sort of, you know, boots on ground kind of stuff. Whoops. So when we consider that, it puts things in a different light with Malaya and Hayden, because we know that Cindy lived close to Paddy. We also know that there were periods of time when Hayden and Malaya were growing up when Cindy didn't have a partner. So in between when Cindy and Joe got together, before Hayden was even born, she would have been a single parent with Malaya. So I would imagine that Malaya, probably even when she was little, like before, because she would have been 10 when Hayden was born. So there would have been a lot of times when Cindy had to work. So I suspect that even though Cindy and Malaya don't have a great relationship, I do also suspect that a lot of what we're being told here in terms of Paddy pretty much raised those kids is that it is quite likely that Paddy was supporting Cindy, who was working 12-hour shifts and therefore needed someone to help with her children. I mean, Hayden was only just 18 when Lily and Jack went missing. So, you know, he still would have been, you know, a few years leading up to that, he still would have been, you know, if you've got a 16-year-old boy, you probably would prefer him to be with your mother rather than be at home while you're off working a shift. I mean, clearly they've got a good relationship with Paddy, but I think that is definitely something that we need to take into account in terms of not completely writing off Cindy. Yeah, Kelly, I think you're correct. Anyway, keep going.
So he like kind of jumped around.
You said on Thursday night, well, going into the May 2nd, that you went in, turned on the light or whatever, checked on Jack and Lily, and that they were both under the covers. Now, what I want to ask you is this. When you said under the covers, are you literally meaning they were fully under the covers?
No, I do understand where the public and, you know, the true crime community takes that as that you couldn't see them.
Well, right.
What I mean by under the covers is the blankets were up to their neck, right?
Yeah, right, Daniel. Yeah, Callie, I'm kind of thinking Coca-Cola, given Anita's tastes. Anyway, exactly. The relationship between Cindy and Hayden, or Cindy and Hayley, or Patty and all of them, all that is relevant here is anything that gives us a better understanding of Malaya. But it's not our place to judge anything to do with anyone other than the 3 people who were on the property when the children went missing. It seems like people have worked so hard to redirect attention in this case. They want people to focus on everybody else. Just don't focus on Lily and Jack. Don't focus on Malaya, Daniel, Janie, and Justin, because we can't be certain that Justin wasn't there on the property. Don't focus on them. Let's focus on Cindy, who was 40 minutes away. Let's focus on Hayley, who hadn't seen the children in over 2 years. Let's focus on Patty, who again has got nothing to do with it. They've cycled through everybody that they can. And then if they can't introduce someone new, they'll just cycle back through again. I'm half expecting that there's going to be a... Sorry, kids outside. Mouse doesn't like it. I'm waiting for the version of the story where Cindy's brother came back from overseas and kidnapped the children. It's just insane. I love these photos. They're so cute. Just the focus on Jack's face. It's like, how did my feet get that big? Jack wearing his grandfather's sneakers. They're so adorable. And Lily looks so pleased with herself in that hat. That is just so adorable. Yeah, Mouse is a crazy little pup sometimes. I love hearing these memories. It's just brings it all back, doesn't it? Oh yeah. They do push the victim narrative so much. They really, really do. Especially Daniel. And he adds in the psychobabble with it now, just to make sure that people actually take it on. My favourite photo of Lily, just like it was yesterday. Yeah, this one of Jack is just so gorgeous. Just the fascination with, like, he would have struggled to lift those shoes, wouldn't he? They would have weighed so much on his little feet. I mean, I would imagine that his feet would probably come straight out of them. But my favourite photo of Lily is the one where she's got the hat and Belinda's little Belinda's glasses. I'll see if I can find it. I'm not sure if I've got all of them on the MacBook. I know I've got them on my iPad. I should have them on the MacBook because a lot of what I do now is directly on here. I wish that StreamYard would let you get into folders when you're accessing photos, because I've got so many images saved. And I'm like scrolling through like a million images right now, just trying to, this would be better if I was actually wearing my glasses. But I'm trying to find this one image that is definitely one of my favorites because it's so adorable. Okay, there's that one that's up on the screen. Still going, still getting there. Oh, here we go. This one. The look on Lily's face in this photo. She's so pleased with herself. She's got chocolate on her mouth, but she's so pleased with herself. They really are beautiful, aren't they? Jack with his serious looks. Is this Daniel you're talking about? Sounds like he's losing his grip. I haven't been over into Susan's channel for a while. I've had been so busy, I've barely had time to check out other people's content. She's just, this is like just cuteness personified. Just the most adorable thing ever. Oh, okay, cool. When I actually get time to go over to Susan's channel and watch her content, I will definitely go check out. I think, ooh, he pours out his dark heart. I'll definitely have to go check that out. Is that in comments or in chat? Although it'd have to be in comments, wouldn't it? Because she only does live streams on her TikTok. So I will definitely go check that out. I think they're all scrabbling. I think the last press conference where Rob McCammon slipped up and basically named it up as criminal. And the fact that Rob McCammon has said this case will be solved, I think they're all starting to panic a bit now. I know, it's just adorable. That's too cute. You carried your vape around your neck and in the end you had to make something for her to wear as well. That is so cool. That is so cute. Such a precious little thing. So it's within the last 7 to 10 days. I'll definitely go and look out for that. She's been putting out, yeah. Oh, I saw that. It came up in my feed and I meant to mark it and go back to it. But she's got quite a few videos suddenly where she's just covering topics. Kind of like your forensic side of things. Ooh. Now, I haven't got her channel link here, but I will also, the tech one today was so educational. Okay. So definitely worth checking out this series that Susan is putting out right now on her channel, talking about all this yeah, I will I'll add anything like that into Discord, Bonza, that's for sure. Oh, okay, the lie detector one sounded like it was AI generated. It's really hard when you're researching things. I know with some of the times when I'm like trying to, as opposed to, you know, when I'm just commenting on stuff like this, but if I'm trying to introduce a case and I've gone through like, you know, dozens and dozens of news articles, dozens of videos and stuff, it can be hard putting it together. Just to kind of gel it all together. So it is possible that it comes across as sounding possibly AI generated because of the whole trying to put together a lot of technical information. I have a Discord that I've not really done anything with. It's, yeah, there's kind of not much happening with that right now. I might make it available for members, make a public page available for members. We'll discuss that in a members live stream, I think. Probably the way to go. Oh yeah, exactly. It depends on how you do it too. That's for sure. I mean, I've had times where I've contemplated just throwing all my notes into AI and saying, put these in order. But then I prefer to do it myself and organize it myself because then I understand it better as well. So these are all on her YouTube channel. Cool. So she's really done a deep dive into the cell phone stuff. That's really, really good. Definitely, I would recommend going and checking it out then, because we definitely need more of this sort of technical forensic stuff. And not only that, those sort of videos take a lot of time to prepare. So you might see a 10, 15-minute video. You can guarantee that there's been many, many hours go into the research and putting all the research together and stuff like that. Oh yeah, it's mind-blowing when you actually realize what can be extracted from phones. There's different levels in terms of extraction, but you know, if they go like full-on extraction, which they usually do, because when you do data extraction from phones, every time you lose a little bit of data, So they tend to go for like the top level kind of extraction where they're going to get the most, so that they're only doing it once. Sounds like there's probably a lot there that I don't know too. So I'm definitely going to be checking it out. Like I said, there's been one or two that's popped up in my feed, and I've gone, I must go back to get that. And then not gotten around to it because of time factors and things like that. I will definitely link the latest one in the description for this live stream. It probably won't be till later today, because when I hop off this live, I need to probably just grab a protein shake or something and then get organised and head out. But definitely later on when I get back, I will link Mike's blanket video. I will link Susan's latest video, and also just link her channel. And I think they are. I think that's what's happening right now. I think they're starting to see the writing on the wall, and they're getting nervous. Anyway, I'm going to have to wrap it up because I do have to make sure that I'm organised, and I've made a note about that email, so I'll be doing that later today as well. Okay, just making notes. Thanks for coming in. I definitely need to wrap it up here and get myself organised. So sorry for the kind of early live and kind of being a bit rushed with finishing. I'm going to try and do a members only live again in the next day or so. So I'll bring you up to speed on how things go today with Amira and various other things. I very much appreciate everyone coming in, and time to wrap it up in a blanket, that's for sure. I appreciate everyone coming in and spending the time here on my channel. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so on your way out. If there's anyone in here who's new to my channel, please subscribe. And if you're listening on replay, please leave a comment. Thanks, sponsor. I will have a quick check of that once I get off here and before I get myself organised. Thank you, and I'll catch you all in the next one.